Whenever it comes to the MCU, there are a bunch of characters I love. And with that, there are a bunch of side characters that I love. And one of them is James Rhodes, aka War Machine. War Machine is one of my favorite characters because I love how he's just like the best friend of Tony Stark. Iron Man is one of my favorite characters in the MCU itself, and I don't like Rhodey just for being, Tony's best friend, but because I love how he's like always by his, and that be it, the Avengers side. He's always willing to call out Tony for his mistakes. He's always there to be there for the Avengers, whether it be another battle, another fight. And I love how he's there just to hang out with them, chill. And something I really love about the MCU and just, in just movies in general are like ranking and going over like different like suit designs or, different, stuff that they have. And I think the easiest one, to start things going, and the one I'm very interested in because I really love Iron Man suits, is for War Machine. There's only 6 suits, but technically we're doing 7, and you'll see why later in the video. And the reason we're gonna be ranking them is from design, story purpose, and the action / weapons that they have. It's probably gonna be a little bit biased, but any ranking is. So without further ado, let's get on to number 7.
Where do you want to be?
Where are you going?
What are you talking about?
I
You have a big gun. You are not the big gun.
Tony, don't be jealous.
No, it's subtle, all the bells and whistles.
Here we have Mark V, aka Iron Patriot Mark II from Endgame. This is the suit that he wore at the end of the movie during the final battle of Earth. And I don't want to say it's horrible, but it's low-key kind of bad, if I'm going to be real with you. It's just a giant mech, essentially, for War Machine. It's just the Iron Patriot, but like very bulky. It's very cluttered, and I like it in terms of like, it being like an overpowered thing. And one of the problems I have with some of the War Machine suits is I don't want it to be too bulky, and this is the best example of how to do it too bulky. And I actually, this is the first time I'm saying this ever, is I actually came up with a canon reason for why it's like that. So, being that fact that this is the Mark V, this is the suit that he has after Infinity War, in my mind, what happened is with America and just the whole world being like fearful of like, losing half the people, being like, depressed and like not having any hope. The government and, the Avengers and, like Rhodey himself wanted to make a War Machine armor that, one, went back to, like being patriotic for America, so on and so forth. And along with that, having more firepower to, make sure America feels more secure and more like safe. But yeah, like I said, the design is very bad. The story purpose, it's only used for the end of the movie and the final battle, which also contributes to the action / weapons of this suit. Is even though this guy looks like a full-blown beast that could take on Thanos' army like alone, we don't see it in action. I'm not gonna lie, we just see him charge into battle, and that's it. Him in like the battle itself for like I think a couple of seconds, and that's it. And I just think that's like so funny that these designers and like overworked CGI artists made like one of the most like destructive War Machine armors, and we just haven't seen it. We don't see it in action. That's bad. Let's get to one that is actually, like in the movie for a while.
Oh, God.
What's up, regular size man?
Next one we have is Mark VI, and this one is from Endgame. This one isn't bad. See, this is the one that we see throughout actually most of Endgame, and the thing is, it's like he has this suit like for most of the movie until, it gets destroyed in the bombing. And the problem is, in terms of like the whole like action in, weapons of it, is that we don't see it in action. We don't see any like action scenes of it. Like he uses the suit for the time heist, but like that's really about it. And contributes to story-wise, he just uses it for the time heist. There's no real action scene or, like something to show like what its true capabilities are. So there's no real indicating like what it could do, or you know, like what makes it better than some of the other suits. I mean, I will admit it looks, you know, very like streamlined. It looks nice. He has it outfitted with the quantum suits, so that's cool. But yeah, we don't really see that much outside of that. So it's kind of disappointing, but you know, is what it is. All right, time for number 5.
Sadly, that technology was kept out of reach. That's not fair, that's not right, and it's just too bad.
Here we have the Mark I, the first War Machine armor ever from Iron Man 2. And I feel kind of bad because in terms of like the story, this has the most of how this was all what was building up in Iron Man 2 with Iron Man and, you know, his, you know, like disagreement with the government and how he should, you know, be the only one with the armor, and Rhodey was like trying to like, you know, like be kind to Tony and try to work things out. But, you know, with Tony's, you know, problem in the movie, that just didn't work out. And along with that, I just kind of like the fact that, you know, this thing is very Hammer inspired. I don't like the fact that it's bulky. That's one of my main problems with it. But in terms of story, I understand it, because if you know Justin Hammer, you know he outfitted it to the teeth. And while it is very excessive story-wise, it's a very funny reason why. I love you, Justin Hammer. Go off. I'm here for it. And with that, I really do like it. The, you know, mounted turret, you know, like the cannon, the thing he has on his back. This is like the only real movie to where it's really like present in it. And I feel like this is the most like realistic looking one, because if you know like the MCU, the suits become less realistic over time. And I just think that this one had the most action in general against like the Hammer drones. And whenever you see him like shooting and like the, you know, like the oil blood, you know, goes off, it's a really good suit, but the bulkiness just really takes it back. Like, I'll tell you this, from 5 to 1, we have really damn good suits, but I just can't put it up with the rest for those reasons. But like I said, very good suit, the weapons amazing. The ex-wife especially, that's a real good one.
Look at this guy. I'm gonna bust this bunker with the ex-wife.
The what?
Hammer tech?
Yeah. So I take the tank, fly it right up to the general's palace, drop it at his feet. I'm like, boom, you looking for this?
Here we have the Mark II from Age of Ultron. This one is very okay. In terms of story, he just uses it to help fight Ultron at the end of the movie. I always thought it was kind of like disappointing, the fact that he wasn't really like in the movie much. And whenever he did show up at the end, I mean, that was kind of cool. But like I said, he only uses the suit for like 1 or 2 scenes, you know, fighting Ultron. The problem with it is the fact that this is a very, I don't want to say plain, but like it seems like the most like casual suit he could have. I don't think there's any bulk. And while I said I don't really like bulky suits, I feel like I need some more so I could tell the difference between Iron Man and not just the mounted turret to tell me that. And the other thing, because like I said, we'll get to the next suit, is, you know, with the Iron Patriot, spoilers, is at least there, you know, the color redesign and like the color deco, it's like very pops. This one is just regular War Machine, but like with none of the fun, like with like none of the weapons there. It's just War Machine. There's nothing much.
Huh? Look at this place. I mean, what is the theme here? Underwater? It's boring.
It tested well with focus groups, all right?
I am Iron Patriot.
Listen, War Machine was a little too aggressive, all right? This sends a better message.
So here we have the Mark II, but this one, it's the Iron Patriot. And this one is really good. It is so incredible, the difference between the Mark II as just regular War Machine and the Mark II as Iron Patriot. The difference is so obvious. I don't care if it's Norman Osborn, you fucking nerds type into the comments going, actually, this was Norman Osborn and I'm Amazing Spider-Man. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, this is just so cool. The fact that we had, you know, Iron Man 3 dealing with the Mandarin and, you know, like the fake terrorist attacks. So they were like, Rhodey, we need you to become Captain America 2. And he just dons, you know, the red, white, and blue. It is so good. And I like the fact that, you know, like Tony just makes fun of him the whole movie, going like, I am Iron Patriot, and just stuff like that is just so funny, and I love it so much. And, you know, like I said, with the weapons and all that stuff, it's the same thing from Age of Ultron. It's the same suit, but I really do love it. I love the design with the colors. It is so incredible. My only issue with it is the fact that we don't really get to see Rhodey using it that much. Is really just used as a pawn for Aldrich killing in, you know, with the president and all that stuff. But overall, the design is great. It's amazing. I wish I had more to do in both this and Age of Ultron in terms of the Mark II, but honestly, I don't care. The design itself is carrying it so much. It's well deserved.
Should we bow?
Yeah, he's a king. We don't do that here.
Here we have for number 2, we have the Mark IV from Infinity War. This suit is pretty damn good. I appreciate this so much. I was asking about, you know, making this video about like the suits, and a friend of mine told me that with, you know, this one, he told me about like the camo on this, and looking back, you know, when I looked at it, I was like, holy shit, you're right. Like the camo on this really puts in a nice bit of detail that really makes this one pop and stand out. This one has like the right amount of bulk to where it's not too much and it's just right for me. Like you could tell this guy is ready for war, or should I say Infinity War. And I really love how the fact that this thing is nailed to the teeth. Like whenever I think of War Machine in the MCU, this one scene just pops into my head. Like that is just peak War Machine in action for you. And there's nothing more I need to say. That is all you need to know about how good this suit is. If I'm not gonna lie, I think War Machine himself carried the Battle of Wakanda. Not Cap, not Black Panther, nah man, it was War Machine and his buddy Falcon going ham. I'm gonna be real. And like I said, in terms of story, it's pretty good, because he helps fight, you know, Thanos and Wakanda. I like the fact that he's on his own. He's not without, you know, Tony. Of course, he has the Avengers, but if you know Rhodey, it's him and Tony all the way, buddy. And I like the fact that he also uses it in Endgame to stop Thanos on the farm, which is also equally as cool, but not as cool as number 1.
Wow, it's so weird how you run into people at the airport. Don't you think that's weird?
Definitely weird.
Hear me out, Tony.
I knew this was going to be number 1 from the start. Civil War Mark III is it is the greatest War Machine suit of all time. It has the right amount of bulk. It is perfect in terms of the amount it has. The weapons on it is incredible. Like, I think this is the greatest showcase, like besides Iron Man 2, this is the greatest showcase of War Machine's artillery to a perfection. It is to the greatest amount. The fact that he has like this like stick, the fact that he used to fight Captain America, I always remember that from Civil War, when he brings it out and just, you know, like starts going ham on him. It's so cool. And the scene whenever Ant-Man, you know, tries to throw like a truck at him, and War Machine just pulls out all the artillery and just blasts off. It is just orgasmic every time I see it, I'm not gonna lie. And I love the fact that he also is going bar for bar for carrying the team in this movie. He helps defeat Ant-Man. He has like that, like the wave, you know, the shock wave thingy that, you know, like stops, you know, Wanda and like Ant-Man for a little while. And he is bar for bar, man. He has so much aura in that fight scene. It's so good. And, you know, it's just a really good suit. I appreciate it so much. I love the fact that whenever he comes on screen, whenever he first came to arrest Captain America, Bucky, and T'Challa, you knew he meant business. He might be your friend, but he still is a part of the law. And along with that, I also appreciate the detailing of, on the suit, you have these little, like, you know, like kill card of the Ultron drones. That is just detailing in the MCU that I miss so much, of just, you know, like recalling past events, not through saying like, oh, do you remember Clump Shido in The Adventure on Disney Plus, but just like little, you know, just like show don't tell stuff like that is so good. And in terms of story, of course, you know how he needs to pick a side and, you know, for Civil War. And I love his rationale at the end of the movie for why he still agrees with signing the Accords. And along with that, I also love how much he's, you know, with Tony by his side. And of course, who's gonna forget whenever he was shot down by Vision and how he lost his legs. Stuff like that was just amazing to see. And that suit is by far one of the greatest suit in War Machine's history in the MCU. It has been since Endgame since we have seen Rhodey in a suit. I thought we were going to sometime soon, but he has been stuck in Disney Plus jail for like years now. He was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Secret Invasion, and bro did not even suit up in either of those, and he was a Skrull in one of them. So yeah, it's been a rough time for us Rhodey fans out there. Bro has not been seen for like years, at least in a suit, being mind you. Not even the real Rhodey even. But yeah, I really love War Machine. I love all of his armors in the MCU, and this was just a real fun video to make. If you have any favorite, you know, armors of Rhodey, please tell me. If you think I'm wrong, tell me what's, you know, your favorite, your least favorite. But yeah, that's really about it. Don't forget to have a great day, and boom, you looking for this?